What's up, guys? Just wanted to bring you a video today about the changes that are coming in Mists of Pandaria, and specifically challenge modes. Okay, now what challenge modes are going to do is they're actually going to be really cool for raiders that aren't world first, for raiders that aren't that very top tier. Challenge modes, I think, are going to be one of the funnest implementations that Blizzard has put in for two reasons. First reason is definitely because challenge modes will offer people who love to PvP but want to be challenged, want to be ranked without doing all the PvP, because let's be honest, if you're a great PvE raider, chances are you're probably not that great at PvP to the point where you're going to be rank 1, 2300, blah 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 blah. You're probably not. I mean, it's possible and you probably have the skill level, but the time commitment and everything else is probably not going to be there. Definitely not in the first little bit of when a brand new expansion comes out. So what Blizzard has done is they've given us challenge modes, okay? And what these challenge modes do, again, is it gives people a way to rank on their server, on their guild, their fastest times, you know, what the best comps are, some of the coolest gear. You're going to have different talent setups. You're going to have all this different stuff so that you can get your cool shiny new gear and mount and everything else. The cool thing about it is what it allows for raiders, okay? And we've all had this. If you're not Method or Vodka or Paragon or Blood Legions or some of these guilds that obviously are going for World First, that have 35 to 45 members, showing up to every 25-man raid, ready to go, on standby, know their class better than 95% of the population, blah blah blah. Okay, there's still a lot of good raiders out there that may be Wrath babies, maybe Cata babies, they might even be MoP babies. And what's going to happen is, if you don't have some of these achievements because of the nerfs and because of everything else, how do you really test a good raider? Well, the nice thing about challenge modes is let's say you have a warlock or a mage or this or that, you can bring them into a challenge mode where their gear is normalized, okay? What the challenge modes are is they take the gear overpoweredness for the most part out. Now obviously there's going to be people who figure out, well, if you use this trinket and this weapon and this thing, it scales, so that's actually OP and blah blah blah. Now that'll be fine if you're going for the first, you know, realm highest time or guild highest time. If you want to utilize some of those tactics, that's fine. That's in the game, you can do that. But what it means for raiding guilds is, let's say, you know, we have 11 or 12 people who show up on a Tuesday night to raid with us. Well, how do we tell one person no and one person yes, especially with the talents being flipped on their heads? Well, now we have a way to test them. Because in these challenge modes, guys, if you're not paying attention to abilities, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing and knowing the layouts of fights, okay, let's put it this way. If you're a want-to-be raider and you want to get into a good 10-man that's going to be doing heroic content, maybe not server first, but maybe they're, you know, realm first, realm second, realm third, after that, you got to have a way to judge people, because those people are always going to have their guilds. They've been set up already. They're not going to be there. So if you're recruiting, and especially this is going to be cool once everyone gets to 90, is you can take those extra 2 people and say, okay, here's our tank, here's our healer, and here's 2 of our core DPS. Now what we're going to do is we're going to test you guys. Okay, now obviously this fight might be better for this class, this fight might be better for this class, but at the end of the day, you're overall going to be able to get a better feel for who fits your group, as because you can't just steamroll through everything. So you're going to learn who fits your group, you're going to learn what guy is, and you're going to ask them the whole way through the challenge is, okay, now what would you do here? What would you do here? What would you do here? So as a raid leader and a heal leader, you can get to know the person really well through actual content that matters, no matter what tier of raiding it is. Guys, MoP is going to bring some of the coolest stuff to World of Warcraft, alright? It really is. I remember when Cata came out, everyone was saying, well, this is going to be WoW 2.0 because they've redone all the zones. Other than redoing the zones and changing the talent systems up a little bit, at the beginning of Cata, they didn't really change a lot. Now, if you look at the total life of Cataclysm, they've added LFR, which is amazing, 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 for people who just want to raid. They don't want to deal with all the bullcrap and everything else, and with the loot changes that they're doing, it's going to be even better, okay? The other things that they're doing in Cata, or that they did, was they got void storage, they got transmogrification. Guys, this is all stuff that came out during this expansion. It's so cool. Transmog, another thing. So when you look at Cata from start to finish, it really did change a lot. Now I think we're actually going to see WoW 2.0 in Myst. Okay, we have pet battles. We have all these tillers so you can farm different things and do different things this way. You have all these professions. Your talents have been completely redone. You've got LFR system. You've got challenge mode system. You've got all these new BGs and arenas and everything else, and 3 new raid content tiers. So it's the same game, but there's literally so much to do now that, especially like achievement people, they're going to have their hands full with stuff to do, which is really, really good. People with alts are going to have an awesome time, like me, just going through and relearning all their classes and going, oh, this is really cool, and I can see how in raids this will help me do this, and this will help me do this. But challenge modes are going to be awesome, guys. It's really going to give you a way to test a raider, to test a potential guy in your spot. Because, let's face it, when push comes to shove, can this guy cope with how the raid leader acts? Is the raid leader more aggressive? Is he more passive? Is he typing in officer chat, or is he yelling over an event? What's going on that way? Does he fit the mold of the group? And this is going to be a great, great way to figure that out, is by doing these things. And I really, really think that this is going to change the game for raiders coming up in Mists of Pandaria. I know when I first started back in Ulduar, you know what I mean? Like, if you didn't, I didn't have any experience. I was a brand new level 80 Death Knight. You know what I mean? Like, I was a DPS, so we were a dime a dozen. Well, I was the guy who was sitting on Elitist Jerks, who was on YouTube, who was on this, that, and the other thing, making sure that I knew everything about my spec, which class was pulling the most DPS, which gear you were using. Guys, we even got reforging in Cata. I mean, if you think about all the tools that they've given us since Cata launched till now, Cata's amazing. It really is. It was a very, very good expansion. Firelands, I think, was awesome. Even Tier 11, I think, was very, very good. If you go back and look at some of the fights, very, very cool the way that they did it. DS, I thought, dropped off a little bit, but I still thought was okay. Firelands, I thought, by far was the coolest of the raids, just because of some of the mechanics that they brought into fights. And they've said, and if you've gone and watched any of the beta content where these raiders are going in, you'll see some of the cool new things that they're trying to do. And guys, Blizzard is on top of their game. If you think that 10 million subscribers is deterring them at all, you're out of your mind. These guys are making sure that they try to break records with every single expansion. These guys are the prime targets of every other MMO. Okay? What Blizzard does, everybody goes, holy crap, what a great idea. And it's only when they implement it. I remember when we first heard about pandas, guys, I was like, I was talking to my guildies, and we were like, yeah, we're probably done after this, like Star Wars would be in full effect. Well, Star Wars sucked at Endgame. Guild Wars 2 is coming out, which, might be okay, whatever. The bottom line is, guys, there's so much stuff to do in WoW, and with Mists of Pandaria, you will never be done. You just won't. It's going to be, whether you want to collect pets, whether you want to collect mounts because they're account-wide now, whether you want to go for achievements, whether you're a raider, a PvPer, a gold farmer, it doesn't matter, guys. There's so much stuff coming out in this expansion, and it's going to be so awesome. And I feel like, back to my point when we were talking about pandas and Pokemon coming out for a while, we were all like, oh, we're not going to play anymore. Oh, we don't want to play in Myst. I'm not playing Pokemon and blah, blah, blah. Well, now that we've actually seen it, we're like, you know what, Blizzard? Good job, because what they didn't do is they did not change core gameplay. You can still raid. You don't have to do any of this extra stuff. Now everything is optional. It's becoming so huge that it's absolutely amazing. And for any other game to think that they can come anywhere close without years and years and years of programming and getting their game polished is outside of their mind. And I just really wanted to go in and, guys, because I don't think anyone's really touched on how much fun the challenge modes are going to be and what they're going to mean to raiding guilds and people who aren't in that top echelon. How to judge a raider who you want to bring into your raid, especially when you've got, because we've all had this in our guilds, guys, where we've got the guy who shows up every week, who's there ready to go, who really is committed to the guild, but he's just not that good. You know what I mean? Like, when push comes to shove, he's such a nice guy or such a nice girl, but they're just not that good. They don't have the raid awareness, they don't have the skill, whatever it may be. Well, now there's a way that we don't have to be mean. We can bring them in and say, well, you know what? This person has performed better in what we want to do. I understand that they only show up for raid, and we're going to work on that with them. And you're welcome to stay in guild, but because of what we've seen, we think we can down more bosses with this person because of their overall skill level that we've seen in the game through challenge modes, through opening raids, through blah blah blah. It also, what it allows, and it seems to happen in every group, whether it be 10 or 25, is you've always got those 2 or 3 people who you're like, God, if we could just replace these idiots, we would be 8 of 8 heroic, because everybody else knows what they're doing, and we're always waiting on these 2 morons to figure it out. I know. But now we have challenge modes, so we might have to show up for raids 2-3 times a week and deal with these people. But at the end of the day, like when we're done with raid, we can go in with our guys, we can go get our gold timed gear, we can go get our mounts, we can go play with the 5 players who we want, and all it's going to do is it's going to up the level of competition in the guild. It's going to allow for more, because your 5-man team versus their 5-man team. So let's say you're waiting on a raid, or let's say, you know, you're just getting burnt out, you're banging your head on a boss. Hey guys, let's do this. Let's all go in and we're going to do Shadowpan Monastery on challenge mode, and our group's going to go against your group, and the winner gets 10k gold to split up amongst them. You know, just something cool to do. It gives you another idea, and it gives you something else besides just slamming your head against stuff when you need a break. Like right now, think about it. If we had challenge modes in the game right now, how many people would have not quit raiding because they would have been like, okay, well, you know, oh, this 5-man team just beat our guild time. Well, now we got to go back in there, guys. We got to go kick their butts. Okay, you can go do that. And I really think, guys, that once Mist comes out, people are overlooking these challenge modes, but I really think that Blizzard is on to something absolutely epic here. I really do. I think if they really want to make it super competitive, you have a set gear set that you go in there with, and you cannot change that. And what that'll do is that'll allow the talents to change a little bit via the dungeon you're going into and what you're going for, but it won't allow people to scale up and down certain gear that may be overpowered. That would be the only thing that I've seen so far. But again, this is going to be so much fun to see what happens with raiding guilds. I really think it's going to add another level of competition. I think it's going to up everybody's game. I think it's going to make everybody play their class better. I really like where they're going with this, guys, and so I wanted to do a video just on this, and we'll see you later. Have fun.